sleep darts in slide 2 and slide 3 are broken. A lot of YouTube clickbait thumbnails, assuming you don't use D-arrow, say this a lot, and then try to convince you, I promise, the answer is really interesting. But this is not going to be like that. Because they are broken, but not for the reasons you think. If you fire a sleep dart at a guard, puts him to sleep. It works. That's not broken. The non-working part is something else. Before we begin, let me set some ground rules. First, the firing of sleep darts, as well as the reload sound, is silent if you're not particularly close to the guard. See? They can't hear that. But any action close to guards can be heard. If you're close enough, of course. But what's the point of a silenced projectile if you're going to get super close to the guards anyways? I will be ignoring this element of noise for this video because it defeats the purpose of a silenced projectile. But guards can hear the impact of sleep darts. I'm intentionally not showing you what's happening because that's the topic of the video. But the actual impact is not silenced. And guards can hear it. Here's what's actually broken about them. In this example, I'm in a room with a guard. We are alone in this room. And this guard has no idea I'm here. He also has no way to detect that I'm here, since the only method of detection he has is line of sight. There is no technology in this room or on his person that could potentially allow him to detect me in any other way. He also does not know my position in the room. And unless he sees me and follows me, he has no idea what my position is. Now watch what happens when I fire a sleep dart into his line of sight. Do you see the problem yet? The guard had no idea where I was. All he saw was a little green impact on the ground, and from that alone, he knew my exact position in the room. He went from thinking he was alone in the room to instantly knowing my exact position without actually knowing anyone was there. Green blast does not necessarily equal person in the room with you. Yet, for some reason, he saw a green blast on one side of the room and said, "Oh, I'm going to go to this completely arbitrary position that just so happens to be the exact position of the player." That makes no sense. Let's take this to a more extreme example. In this example, I'm up here on a bridge. There's a monkey guard way down there in the courtyard. That guard has a very short line of sight, does not know I'm here, does not know my position, and nothing on him or around him could potentially give away that position. Nothing I'm doing up here is noisy enough to distract the guard either. So there's no way for him to know I exist. Now watch what happens when I fire a sleep dart near him. Where is he going? Where is he going? That's a good question. Let's follow him. Why is he jumping up here? The impact wasn't up here. What's going on? Again, He had literally no conception of my player character. He did not know where he was. All he saw was a green puff on the ground. From that alone, he decided, randomly, to conveniently walk to where I was, jumping up bridges and platforms to get there. But he had no idea I was there. He just coincidentally walked up there because... no reason. See what I'm getting at? Let's compare this to other games that specialize in stealth and guards. There's a channel I found a while ago called Onion Butter. He's really good with hitmen. This segment here is really what I wanted to cover in relation to this video.
Since this is just the tutorial, getting this kill is really simple, but this level still has one last trick up its sleeve, and that's how I get out. In most playthroughs, escaping, even with the Silent Assassin rating, isn't all that hard, but I now have to cross through that beach that I entered from, and it's filled with patrolling guards. I have to carefully time my movements and use my gun to shoot behind the guards, causing them to turn around and give me a brief period to skirt by undetected. When I finally reach my boat, it's surrounded by 3 guards, so I can shoot some fireworks to ignite them, and every guard in the area goes to check it out.
His character used a silenced weapon to shoot silenced projectiles in guards' lines of sight, and the guards' reaction was to investigate the impact point. Logically so. What they did not do is instantly turn around and see the player, because that doesn't make any sense. Them seeing a projectile hit the ground in front of them does not make the guards randomly go, hey, I'm going to run to the player's exact position completely randomly. Also, what player? There's no player here. That doesn't make any sense. Hitman gets it right, and I get it's a bit unfair because it's a parody, but this throwing projectiles in guards' line of sight to distract them and make them look not at you was even parodied by Henry Stickmin. And it works the same way in the parody.
Yeah, look, Penny.
That's how much sense it makes. So why did a stealth game by master developers get it wrong? Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for the GameCube. It's not particularly a stealth game, but it does have a stealth section where you have to navigate the library in order to avoid the prefects. If you've played it, you know.
What was that?
See? You cast spells. They walk to the spell's position.
Where did he go?
It works in this game too. It's not even a stealth game. It just works. Better than an actual stealth game. You know, unless you get caught. But you saw it. It worked.
Get back to your
I
dormitory.
distracted a prefect by firing a spell at the wall. He walked towards it. He heard a noise. He walked towards it as a distraction. He did not instantly walk to my position. I had to walk into his line of sight for that. Pitfall: The Lost Expedition. While it might not be a stealth-oriented game, it does have a few stealth sections, including these howler monkeys. If you make noise and get in their line of sight, they will chase the player around and throw stuff at them. But if you just launch a projectile near them and make some noise, they do investigate, but then go back to sleep since the player's not there. They don't intentionally go to the player's position, since that wouldn't make any sense. This game does it right as well, and it's not a stealth platformer. Genshin Impact, a game which could not give two f***s about stealth, gets it right. Look at that! I shot an arrow. It goes to investigate. Goes back down. I'll do it again. There he goes. Goes to investigate. Then goes back down. It's not just that guy. Yep, he's going around. What about this big guy? Big guy couldn't care. Oh, yep, look, he's going to investigate. You see? This game cares too. It actually cares to, like, do small details like this. However, this behavior is very odd, as Sucker Punch did program sleep darts correctly once in leading Rajan.
I've equipped my sleep darts with a sonic disruptor. The strange sounds they make should be enough to lead the ever-curious Rajan from place to place.
These sleep darts, according to Bentley, have a device on them that make noise. They both make noise, and they both get the attention of guards. But these act properly. The guard does not see me. The guard does not know I exist. The guard hears a projectile and goes straight for it. And, wow, that just happened. That's funny. But they work properly here. And this is true for all noise-based distractions. Not just those sonic darts. When I throw an alarm clock, he heads to the position of the alarm clock, since he heard it. He doesn't have to see it, because sight doesn't matter at that point. What the guard does not do is instantly run to my position, ignoring the sound. That doesn't make any sense. It's specifically when they see something that shouldn't be there. But I can prove to you that it's specifically sleep darts and not all sight-based distractions. Because there's a very obscure sight-based distraction that does actually work properly. Over here, we have a guard making a circle path that passes by this treasure pedestal. Watch what happens when I steal this treasure and get out of the way. Watch what the guard does. There. The guard sees that something is wrong, and he runs to the position of it and investigates. He does not see that the treasure is missing and run to my exact position because I have the treasure. Because that wouldn't make any sense. It works here. Why is it specifically sleep darts that are programmed wrong? Keep in mind, guards are supposed to be dumb in these games. That's the entire point. They're just muscle. The game makes you feel smart by just dumbing down the guards a lot to make them easier to escape. You can, as Sly, like, attack them in their face, throw a smoke bomb down, jump behind them, and pickpocket them. They're stupid, intentionally. So they would not be able to, for example, detect where the exact angle of where the dart was fired from and use that to triangulate where to look. They're too stupid for that. They just know because of poor programming. Now, I'm not going to buy the explanation of them doing this to make the sonic disruptor darts more unique. They're not going to intentionally break one sleep dart type to make another sleep dart type more unique looking. That's not how it works. If they were going to make sonic disruptor darts act the way they do, but make them different from normal sleep darts, they would make normal sleep darts just silent and not make any noise and not distract guards. Because why would they? They don't exist for that purpose. So I'm not going to buy the explanation of, oh, it's actually intentional to make this dart. No. No, 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 no. No. They're broken. I also checked Sly 3. Sly 3, on a code level, is basically Sly 2, but they fixed all the bugs and optimized all the code. That's a bit of a generalization, but we keep finding more and more examples of this. So surely it acts differently here, right? Nope. He sees the puff of smoke on the ground and runs to my position. It makes literally no sense. It's a shame there aren't any treasures in this game, because I can't show the treasure-based visual distraction here. But yeah, Sucker Punch never programmed sleep darts correctly, and specifically sleep darts. All other visual-based distractions function properly, as do sound-based ones. I also tried Thieves in Time. This will essentially be our sanity check, because not only is it a different code base, a different engine, and different people, but that last one is what might make this interesting. See, Sanzaru never really picked up on the little small things that Sucker Punch did, which is one of the reasons why the game feels so lackluster. So if Sucker Punch, for some reason, intentionally broke how sleep darts work in that small way, Sanzaru wouldn't have picked up on that, and would be left to their own devices to figure out how to implement it. So how did they implement it? Okay, switch to sleep ammo. I'm gonna fire a sleep dart into a guard's line of sight. If this game... Oh my god! The aiming is so... Hello? Forgot how to play this game. Why is aiming so slow? Oh. Nothing. They don't even notice it. Which is how it should be. They're silent projectiles. Of course they wouldn't notice it. It's dumb that they can't see it, of course. But... yeah. It actually functions, not completely properly, but it does function properly here. The guards don't gain superhuman abilities and go against their own programming when it happens. In conclusion, Sucker Punch, across Sly 2 and 3, programmed sleep darts incorrectly, and either never bothered to fix it, or kept it intentionally broken. For some reason, we'll never know. And Sanzaru did not make the same mistake, proving it was an accident. Very, very lazy accident. A very lazy accident.